So I gotta be honest, I'm a little surprised at how many people were fooled by the title of my video yesterday, which, I mean, I wasn't trying to. I was wrong about the system. I was wrong about the PlayStation 5 Pro in a way that I gave it too much credit. If anything, I gave this system way too much credit in my initial video about it. And people thought I was like flipping the narrative on it, and now I was a fan of it. I was very surprised. I'm not a flip-flopper like that. I know some YouTubers make a claim to being like the best flip-floppers in the world, but I'm not one of those people. I am someone who will stand upon what I feel about something because I don't really care about what the vast majority of people say. When I made that video, the initial video on the PlayStation 5 Pro, I had no idea how people were reacting to this system. I wasn't looking around online. I literally just watched the trailer, formulated my thoughts, and then made my video because I feel like people sometimes get lost in the sauce. If they see a lot of people agreeing with something that they disagree with, then they'll kind of change their stance on it. The PlayStation 5 Pro is an overpriced piece of shit. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And now we're learning more about it. And somehow, some way, the system is worse. It's worse again. Obviously, yesterday's video was the revelation about the fact that $700 doesn't get you a vertical stand, nor does it get you a disk drive. And that sent me over the top, man. That made my piss absolutely boil. And now, because of this, Sony, of course, has the detachable drive for the PlayStation 5 Slim digital system where you can attach this drive to it and then play physical games. Now, they obviously didn't make a lot of these. They're not going to make a lot of these, and I'll explain why in just a second. But of course, these are now sold out. Best Buy is sold out. Amazon is sold out. And Sony wants that to happen. Sony does not want this to be a viable option. It's a perceived option. It's an optical illusion is what this is. Because what they're going to say is, well, look, you want physical games, you buy the disc drive. We're hard at work trying to make more of these and make it more readily available, when in actuality, they're not going to be doing that at all because they want to push you to this all-digital future. They don't want used games to be a thing. They don't want you to trade your games with your friends or trade your games into a store and get something new, and then they don't make money on it. They want to have a monopoly on this, and every video game company is guilty of this. Every video game company. That's why you're seeing these all-digital systems appear more and more. Xbox is doing the exact same thing. But with PlayStation and this PlayStation 5 Pro, you would think, at the very least, for $700, you could give me a disc drive. No, sir. No, ma'am. No, whatever. They, them. Whatever you want to rock with is cool with me. They don't want you to play physical games. But then, you gotta read between the lines with Sony sometimes. Because that's not even the point of this video. I mean, the point of this video isn't about the disc drive selling out already. And it's going to be a pain in the ass to get because people are going to scalp them. It's not about how $800 to get this system with a disc drive is the cheapest. The United States has it the best. In the UK, it's over $1,000. Japan, oh, we're not even going to talk about that. Canada, just bend over and take it, pal. Take it. Have the Moose and the Mountie come along and watch as you take it from Sony because you want what you perceive to be enhanced games. But here's the kicker. There are going to be PlayStation 5 Pro enhanced games that have the marketing for it and everything that are still 30 frames per second. The whole point of the damn presentation that we saw with Mark Cerny was what? This is supposed to be the bridge to like the PlayStation 6 to where you get the best of graphics mode and you get the best of fidelity mode. And that's what they promoted this as. That's what they showcase this as. Nobody can sit there and say that they didn't do that because that's what they did. That was the priority of their marketing with this. But it doesn't seem like that's the case because we have this report coming to us from Tom Warren that completely takes a dump on that mindset here. So this is actually based on an article that he wrote a few months ago that flew under the radar because, of course, the PlayStation 5 Pro wasn't announced. Then he actually reshared this article yesterday because he wanted to bring attention to it, because he was able to talk with sources with Sony to sort of, that would agree with what he was saying with this, so the information in it is relevant today. Sources familiar with Sony plans tell The Verge, still has me blocked on Twitter, that Sony is asking developers to create a new PS5 exclusive graphics mode in games that combines with PlayStation's new Sony's new PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, upscaling to 4K with a 60 frames per second frame rate and ray tracing. Of course, all of this came to fruition. We saw the PSSR that is going to be in this system because they showcased it. While Sony wants this new mode in games, the PlayStation 5 Pro Enhanced label will still be available for a variety of other scenarios that include 30 frame per second games. Developers have the option of increasing the targeted resolution for PS5 Pro games that run at a fixed resolution on PS5, or even increasing the target maximum resolutions for games that run at a variable resolution on PS5. That could mean we see PS5 Pro enhanced games that run between 1080 and 1440p resolution at 30 frames per second on the base PS5 and run at 1280p to 2160p on the PS4 or the PS5 Pro at the same frame rate. A fixed resolution increase from 1440p to 2160. This is so stupid. This is so stupid. Would also qualify as a PS5 Pro enhanced game. Developers could also choose to enable ray tracing effects and get the PS5 Pro enhanced label without improving resolution or frame rates. So you don't even have to increase to 2K or 4K or anything like that. You could just add ray tracing to your game and it could still be 30 frames per second. And if a developer wants to target 60 frames per second instead of 30 frames per second with the same resolution, this may also qualify as a PS5 Pro enhanced game. So companies don't have to do anything. They could do a small upgrade in resolution and it's a PS5 Pro enhanced game. They could put that, because this is what it all boils down to. It all boils down to marketing with this thing, because you have to convince people to want this. Something like Grand Theft Auto 6. That is going to be something that will convince people to want this. Grand Theft Auto 6, I don't think is coming out at the end of next year. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm assuming this is a 2026 game. By 2026, we're probably already talking about new consoles. We're probably already talking about a PS6 and an Xbox Series 2 or whatever the hell it's going to be. So when you're showing these old games, these games that already exist on the marketplace, and you could just add some ray tracing into it, and now, bam, it's PS5 Pro Enhanced. You could add a bump in the resolution of the game, even if it's a variable refresh rate, bam, it's PS5 Pro Enhanced. But it's still at 30 frames per second. Why is 1080p 60 frames per second not the baseline for games? There is no Now, let me be clear. I'm not big into P. I'm not big into frame rates. I play a lot of Nintendo Switch games, okay? But there's no reason to spend $700+ on a system where every game on that system is not going to be 60 frames per second. 60 frames per second for me is ideal. That is what I want out of a game. I still think there are good games at 30 frames per second. But the fact that 60 frames per second is not an industry standard in 2024 with brand new hardware coming out is absolutely ridiculous. Especially when this brand new hardware cost $800 to get it with a damn disk drive. Who is making these decisions at Sony? Who signed off on this? And I know what's going to happen. It's going to sell well initially, okay? Nobody's going to be surprised by that because of the fact that people like new stuff. They like shiny new toys. It's always sort of something fun to get a shiny new toy so you can go on social media and be like, look, I've got money. I can afford this. And then meanwhile, your lights are flickering because you ain't pay your light bill because you bought this piece of shit instead so that you could play a game that was 1080p and now it's 1280p, because you're really going to notice that difference on your TCL TV, right? Because everyone that's buying this, of course, has a top-end television to where you can notice these things, right? This is ridiculous. This is the most unneeded thing in the world. At least there was a point with the PlayStation 4. Because with the PS4 Pro, like I said in yesterday's video, they showed you new games and how the new games are going to be enhanced with it. And you could actually somewhat see it a little bit better than on a YouTube video. I'm sure some games are going to benefit from this, but is the benefit going to be enough to the point of where people should buy this? And that's really what it boils down to. If you have a PS5, you could just buy $700 worth of games. And probably most of those games will give you a very, very similar experience. And you know what? You've probably played all those games already. So buy some random third-party stuff. Buy some indie stuff. This is insane. This is insane. And people are still glizzy in it. They're deep throating that Sony peen. Like, this is the greatest thing ever. And it's like, man, I don't get it. I don't even think I'm gonna buy one. You know, I could easily buy one. I could write it off on my taxes. I could show it off on the channel, but it's gonna be a pain in the ass to buy one. And there's no incentive for me. I don't care. I have a television that will benefit from this, and I still don't care. I still don't care. It's ridiculous. Let me know what you think of this in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. Hopefully something else happens so I can talk about something else. I'm getting tired talking about this damn thing. But it's just like every day that goes by, it's like the reason to buy one of these is less and less. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.